Okay, let's get this program started, everybody. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Fennewald, and I am a community librarian. It's nice to see some of you guys again and to meet you.
And my name is Paige. I'm a community librarian as well.
And welcome to our DPL Book Club Central. In this librarian-led monthly program, we'll give you the scoop on book club ideas, including titles and resources. And we'll also provide updates on what is going on with our Deschutes Public Library reading groups. We're going to be hosting this live program every third Tuesday of the month at 5:30 p.m. And like Paige mentions, our next one will be on February 16th. And the recording will be added to the permanent event link afterwards.
So today it includes our book talks, our upcoming online literary events, resources for book club leaders, and of course, our book buzz.
And throughout the presentation, we're going to be throwing the links of the resources and the titles into the chat. So if you don't get a chance to scribble them down, we'll also have them there as well. So we can send them to you guys afterwards too. Okay, so let's just jump right into our book talks. So sit back and relax and let us tell you why your reading group will love these picks. The picture is loading, but I can go ahead and start talking about it. This is going to be Upstream by Mary Oliver. And it seems that, people stumble upon the revered poet Mary Oliver's writing by accident almost. Sometimes they are forced to read it for a book group, or often it's because they hear she's a poet worth reading and they search for an accessible collection to start with. Whatever the reason, a typical response I hear after encountering Oliver for the first time is that they wish they discovered her earlier. For those wanting to catch up on lost time, I highly recommend reading Upstream, a collection of essays by Oliver written throughout her life. Recently, I've been getting requests for book club reads that are uplifting and inspiring, and this collection fits that bill. Mary Oliver writes about her childhood connection to nature, to animals, her space, and in one of my favorite essays by hers, called A Power of Time, the importance of attentiveness in creative work. This selection of grounding essays are not very long and can be easily be read in a day, but be prepared to reread some essays slowly and deeply. Your book club members will bond over which essay resonated with their lives, and they'll share fascinating tidbits they learned about Mary Oliver's life and how Oliver taught them to slow down and appreciate the natural world around us. Book club leaders will find a wealth of background information on Oliver online, primarily through poetryfoundation.com. And I'll go ahead and put those links in the chat, and Paige will carry it with the next one.
The Mystery of Mrs. Christie by Mary Benedict. Some of you might be familiar with this author as a historical fiction author. Her latest book, in December 1926, Agatha Christie goes missing near a gloomy lake. While investigators discover her empty car with tire tracks nearby and a fur coat, her husband and daughter have no idea where she is. But the clues begin to point to her husband. Will Archie be able to handle the speculations and accusations surrounding him? Did he really have something to do with her mysterious disappearance, or did she vanish on her own? Told in alternating chapters from the time she goes missing to 1912, when Christie and her husband first meet. Benedict shares happier moments with their first dance and getting married, along with tensions and arguments. Do you have a favorite Agatha Christie book? Some fans might remember Christie's disappearance a bit differently, but overall, readers will enjoy the interactions with their family and learning more about her early writing career, especially the many puzzles, interesting characters, and what inspired the different settings. This book is available on Hoopla now. Also available on Hoopla, a wide selection of books by Agatha Christie and her autobiography. which might be a great book for a nonfiction book group. This book includes, in the back of the book, includes all of the reader's guide for your book group and an interview with the author why she chose to write a historical fiction book about Agatha Christie.
Our next book talk is All Adults Here by Emma Straub. All Adults Here is a novel about a multi-generational family, love and forgiveness. This story focuses on the Strick family, headed by a newly discovered bisexual matriarch named Astrid and her 3 children and their relationships with each other. The novel's defining event is when Astrid's granddaughter, 13-year-old Cecilia, gets sent to live with Astrid and for her to start her first year of high school in her grandmother's hometown of Clapham. Astrid uses Cecilia's arrival as an opportunity to bring her family together to introduce her new girlfriend. It reveals she no longer wanted to delay after realizing the impermanence of life when she saw a longtime acquaintance get killed by a bus. In each chapter, with revealing names like Lady Date and Cecilia's first day, you learn about each of the Strick's family's individual stories. Your readers will appreciate the likability and everyday issues that each of the characters face. The situations these characters find themselves in are excellent book club fodder. The readability of this novel makes it likely that your group will finish the book. Choose All Adults Here for a light-hearted read with entertaining characters and relatable personal issues. This was a Read with Jenna book club pick.
Another Read with Jenna pick, White Ivy by Susie Lang. Ivy Lynn was a thief, but you would never know it to look at her. Who is Ivy Lynn, and how far will she go for love? It all comes down to Gideon, a privileged senator's son, and the one person she's always wanted to be with. They lost touch when Ivy was a teen, but when she returns to Boston and runs into his sister at a New Year's Eve party, her quest for the golden boy intensifies. But when another man from her past appears, will Ivy change her mind? Written in 5 parts, from assimilating to America as an immigrant when she's 5, to her teenage years, and then visiting China at age 14, to falling in love as an adult. Yang's debut novel is filled with emotions, race, personal family connections, and love. As the novel follows Ivy's struggles with her family life, fitting into school, navigating different cultures, and her adult career, we wonder, who is the real Ivy? Yang weaves together a coming-of-age novel with a side of thriller. The twists and turns are surprising and filled with an amazing combination of mystery, uncertainty, and understanding. This is an unusual book club pick. It is a coming-of-age novel, but then, like I mentioned, has some twists and thriller moments to it that you would not expect. It does have a full reading guide. It's a Simon & Schuster book club pick right now. So the full reading guide is on their website. She will actually be speaking next Monday on Facebook Live via the Simon & Schuster book club page for free. So check that out Monday night. And it is available at our library now. Great.
I'm really excited to share my last book club pick because it ties in wonderfully with DPL's No Place theme in January. The Mountains Sing by Nguyen Phan K. Mai tells the story of 20th century Vietnam told through the voices of 4 generations. It tells the story about the Vietnamese people and their resilience through their homeland's war and occupation and through the Vietnamese land reform. The author, born in 1973 and around the young narrator's age, delivers a lyrical family saga that was carefully researched by compiling stories and experiences of friends and family around her. Mai does not leave out the horror of what the Vietnamese people had to endure during this time. Still, her delivery is born out of forgiveness, compassion, and love. Readers will find that Buddhism's tenets play a role in this family's ability to persevere and endure. Initially written in Vietnamese and beautifully translated into English, I highly recommend this book for groups interested in reading books with diverse voices. Many 2021 reading challenges encourage reading a book from the point of view that's different from their own. This book is an excellent choice for that, especially for groups interested in history. This is a Hoopla Book Club Spotlight pick, and leaders will appreciate all the extra resources Hoopla provides when discussing this novel.
What does your favorite author's book collection look like? Well, The Writer's Library, The Authors You Love on the Books That Changed Your Lives by Nancy Pearl and Jeff Schwager is a treasure of literary legends. I was thrilled to see that Amor Towles and Jennifer Egan, past authors from the DPL Author Literary Series, talking about their books and their private collection. You'll also notice that Susan Orlean wrote the introduction for that, which is another one of our author selections. With this book, it's a perfect book club pick where you can all take your favorite author or a new author and learn about what books are on their shelves or what books inspired them to become writers. It's the perfect book to kind of balance out if you had a heavier book club pick, and also one that I have a feeling will live on your bookshelf for a long time.
Fun.
Yeah. That one is a really great one. So that marks the end of our book talks. I hope you found something there that sounds interesting to you. Our second section is announcing some upcoming online literary events. And one exciting piece of literary news that came out of this whole COVID thing is actually the plethora of online events and author book talks. Watching these often free events is an easy way to keep up with your favorite authors, new books, and a fun social activity to do with your book groups. Paige will share 3 resources to keep your calendars filled with these events.
So our first one I'm going to mention is poetry. So Billy Collins had a new book out that came out last year, and he has been on Facebook almost every day with Poetry Live. You can watch his broadcast on Facebook. You don't need an account or anything, but if you do have an account, just jump on with Billy Collins. And it's a real personal side of him where he shares stories about his writing, reads his poetry, and more. The next one there is Penguin House Books, or Penguin Random House Books. And this is great because it's one place to look for all your favorite authors. So all your authors that have new books out are probably promoting their new books via online through bookstores and libraries. So this is a place you can go to, one place to find that author. Most of the events are free. If it's a bookstore event, it might be something that you have to pay for, but they usually send you the book. So you're really paying for the book and supporting these independent bookstores and then enjoying a live event. And then the last one is the Strand Bookstore, one of my favorites in New York. And right now they have a book club of the month, and you can join with mysteries, teen or adults. Their latest one for mystery is Marion Lane and the Midnight Murder. But they also have several events that are online. So again, most of these are free. Some of them, if you do have to pay for them, they will send you the book signed, which is really nice. And then you can attend virtually. Great opportunity, again, like Ria mentioned, to have an opportunity to see all these authors from around the world.
And I heard about one of my book buzzes, which you'll hear about later through one of these events. So it's a really great resource again. Our next section, we're going to turn our attention to specific resources Deschutes Public Library provides to help you with your book clubs. And our first one is our personal favorite of Paige and I, and she'll tell you a little bit about that.
So you're probably familiar with our first tip one then is your personalized book club pick. And you're probably familiar with My Reads. It's on our website where you can fill out the My Reads form and get a personalized reading selection by a librarian. Most of the time it might be a genre like mystery or historical fiction or biographies. But now we're giving you an opportunity to fill out the My Reads form for your library book club picks. So maybe you need 3 to 5 ideas for your book club in spring or summer. Give us an idea of what you're looking for, and we will suggest some of our book club picks that are available for book club kits that you can check out. Or let us know if you want something that's available on Hoopla, and we will do some digging and find those virtual online available now books for you.
Our second tip from DPL is to use 2020 favorites list. The end of 2020, as we all know, wasn't a tumultuous time, but one thing that came out of that was our ability to escape into a great book. Our DPL staff put together their favorites list. And in addition, our team and librarians created timely book lists to accompany our programming. Recent lists on these program lists, that's a lot of lists, include Black History in Oregon and books that were considered for a novel idea program. The next one that you'll see here on the list here is the NPR Book Concierge. And that, although it's not a DPL resource, it is one of our favorites, and we're all huge fans of it. It allows you to mix and match your favorite subjects and genres to find your bespoke book recommendation, if you will. For example, you can combine a filter like science and biography and memoir, and you'll find 2020 books on there like Hidden Valley Road and Why Fish Don't Exist. The last resource mentioned is an online publication of a little handout we used to give out for free in our buildings called Book Lists, if you remember. We used to have them. Yeah. Yes. Those were great, right? So you can actually find book lists still online. It's a little hidden, but I provided it here. And every year they release a editor's choice of favorite reads. And you'll find exceptional book club reads on that list. And the link is hidden, but again, I'm going to put it here in the chat and you'll have access to that.
Sorry about that. Our tip 3, discover a new way to keep track of your books. Attend No Flow, our book challenge, on February 4th at 5:30 p.m. It's 2021. Do you have a new reading flow for the year? We have pulled together resources, including paper journals, apps, websites, our own Deschutes Public Library catalog, and different ways you can keep track of your books, or if you're wanting to push yourself for a different reading challenge, different apps that will help you keep track of the time you're reading and different genres you're reading. So join us in February for No Flow and our book challenge.
I was trying to show my snazzy new journal, but it wasn't showing up in my in my picture.
Brianna and I are having way too much fun keeping track of books. We're like paper, apps, websites. All right, are you ready? It's time for Book Buzz. 1 minute, 4 books. Here we go.
Let's do it.
So we're going to start out with our Book Buzz author books. Yes. Now, hopefully you had a chance to experience and listen to Tayari Jones, and upcoming with our next books will also be in February and March. So February and March, excuse me, for our author. An American Marriage, a novel by Tayari Jones. Newlyweds, An American A Dream, and The New South, ripped apart by circumstances neither could imagine. A love story for everyone. We'll actually be talking about this book at the Deschutes Public Library Book Club at Sisters at the end of this month. So if you missed discussing the book in your own personal book club, join us.
And our second author book is Tightrope by Nicholas Kristoff and Cheryl Wudunn. The husband and wife journalist team explores the devastating effects of government failure in working class towns through the lens of Kristoff's home city of Yamhill, Oregon. A little bit of a local connection there.
And I should mention the Tickets for Author is a fundraiser through the DPL Foundation. You'll find more information on their website.
I can't figure out how to get out of this.
Our next book, Buzz, is all about no place. We'll start out with Dearly, New Poems by Margaret Atwood, her first collection of poetry in over a decade. Favorite poems include Health Class, Tracking the Rain, Winter Vacations, and Silver Slippers. This Atwood addresses loss, love, nature, even zombies.
And our second book, Buzz, is The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. Know the U.S.'s Deep South through a unique love story between two male slaves. Author Robert Jones is currently on tour, and it's the Strand Bookstore's Book of the Month pick. Can you say hot title?
I should mention we picked those Book Buzz titles because they not only are perfect for your book clubs, but they have some great resources that are already provided. Have you picked up your novel idea? This year we have Front Desk by Kelly Yang and The Other Americans by Layla Lalami. Pick up your book now at Deschutes Public Library. Join in on the programs during April and join us discussing them in April at our book clubs and with the author.
We hope to see you guys there.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're at the end of our presentation. All of our books will be compiled into a DPL Book Club Central list. And I have that list here. And we'll share it on the calendar link again. And you can always email us. Both of our emails are here on the slide.